pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, thank you and welcome everyone to the South River Board of Education regular meeting on Thursday, May 25th, 2023. In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Laws of 1975 of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the South River Board of Education was provided in the following manner. On May 4th, 2023, the notice was delivered to the office of the South River Borough Clerk and posted at the Board of Education Administration Building. On May 4th, 2023, the notice was faxed, mailed to the following newspapers: Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger. On May 4th, 2023, the notice was posted at the South River Borough Clerk's office. Mr. Rosa, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bayside. Mr. Budson. Mrs. Bush.
Mrs. Bush has been excused.
Ms. Byrne.
Here.
Mrs. Lau.
Here.
Mr. Nielsen.
Mr. Nielsen has been excused.
Ms. Sadowski.
Here.
Ms. Young Yao.
Here.
Mr. Bannick.
Here.
Jalen Rodriguez. Here. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay, getting into our meeting, our first order of business on the agenda is our board secretary. We have some minutes. Mr. Rosa?
Nothing new from the pre-meeting.
Okay, so board members, what is your pleasure on the April 24th and 27th, 2023 meeting minutes? Motion by Mr.
Second.
Basak,
Second.
second by Ms. Well. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the financial report. Ms. Well.
Thank you. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby certifies that it is in receipt of the financial report which indicates that no major account has been overexpended and that sufficient funds are available to meet the district's financial obligations for the remainder of the fiscal year. The Finance Committee recommends that the report to the Board Secretary and the Treasurer's school monies for March 2023 be approved, and I so move.
We have a motion by Ms. Lowe,
Second.
second by Ms. Sadowski. Are there any questions on the financial report? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Mr. Rosa, what do we have under use of facilities?
We do have two additions. Number 1484, Cultural Arts and Heritage Commission, and number 1485, South River Parks and Recreation Department.
Thank you. Board members, what is your pleasure on these use of facilities?
Motion to approve the use of facilities according to board policy.
Motion by Mr. Bazak,
Second.
second by Ms. Sadowski. Any questions on these use of facilities? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Zurcher.
Thank you, Mrs. Urbani. On my superintendent's report today, I would like to begin with something exciting that we have coming up in June, actually, which is our district-wide Day of Service. So our Day of Service is scheduled for June 8th, and on this day, all of our students in grades K through 12 will be engaging with their peers and their teachers and community members in developmentally appropriate service activities. So some of these activities include writing get well letters and cards for hospital patients, preparing care packages for homeless families, planting gardens, outdoor cleanup, recycling activities, making collection and organizing a lot of our RAM runway clothing, working to collect funds to be donated to various charities as well. So it's a day that we are setting aside to help students understand the importance of being a community member, the importance of service, and how that can really help you feel good when helping others. I want to talk about our elementary playground. The old, outdated elementary playground was demolished this month. The new playground, you can see a lot of the components now, is up. We we are now working on the ground surface, which is going to be a ground surface suitable for the type of play that the playground lends itself to. One of the exciting things about the playground is that a lot of its components were actually voted upon and selected by the children themselves. And so we know that this will be the type of playground that they're going to enjoy and use for many years. And today at the curriculum fair, I actually heard a child say to her mom that she wanted to bring her over to see how the new play area is coming along. So they're definitely excited. We believe that the children will be able to be on it before the end of the school year, and it's definitely coming along. We also, throughout the curriculum fair, posted in a lot of the areas that are currently under construction. We posted some signs and posters showing the community what those areas will look like post-construction, which is exciting as well. In May, we had our spring standardized assessments at all levels, all of the required state assessments based on the New Jersey Student Learning Standards. And, we get those reports pretty quickly in the fall, and we share those reports with parents. And I want to make sure that our parents know that these assessments are standards-based, they are standardized for all children at that age group across the state. But what's also really important about those state assessments is that they are one measure, and I encourage parents to use those assessments and to look at those assessments as exactly that. One measure in a collection of a lot of different assessments, such as projects, student ongoing performance, and so on, teacher feedback that they receive. Budget reminder, last month I presented the budget for school year 23-24. I really want to encourage the public to go on our district website and please take a look at the budget. There is a lot of information about how we are allocating our funding, as well as how we allocate grant funding, and the significant grant funding that we receive as a district that we apply for, and that we receive. So please make sure you take a look at our budget. And a stadium update. So tonight we were able to release in the courtyard where our athletic teams were a pamphlet that shows what the district plan as of right now is for the stadium. It highlights how we are phasing the rebuild of the stadium, and it discusses how we are how we're looking to manage some of the options for our upcoming fall season, as well as graduation. So I encourage the public to take a look at that and to please reach out to our athletic director, Carl Buffalino, with any questions on that. It's a quick and easy FAQ, and any questions, like I said, can go to Mr. Buffalino. Added to the agenda tonight, I want to point out to the board are some literacy level libraries. I mentioned to the instruction committee and I mentioned to the board previously that we were doing a pretty in-depth analysis of our literacy programs in K-5, grades K-5. And what we found as we were conducting this analysis is that the teachers are really lacking some important independent reading level materials. And so we asked our supervisor of curriculum, Mrs. Disney, as well as Dr. Trevisano, our assistant superintendent of curriculum, to really start to look at some options for classroom level reading libraries. They did so, and we were able to get it on the agenda today so that we have those libraries in place for the upcoming September opening. I can't believe we're not even out of school and we're talking about being ready to open, but that's the case. A lot of times it just really takes a long time to outfit a large project such as that. So you'll find that as an addition on your agenda this evening. And so concludes my report. We had our curriculum fair today, huge success, big turnout, lots of activities for the children. The Star Lab was certainly a big hit. The children have been visiting the Star Lab with their classes for a field trip. The art show just really highlighted some of the great talent that we have in the district, the performances, and all of the academic displays as well. So we hope the community enjoyed the curriculum fair, and we look forward to planning next year's. So concludes my report.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments on the superintendent's report? What is your pleasure on the superintendent's report?
Move the superintendent's report in accordance to board policy.
Motion by Ms. Lowe,
Second.
second by Ms. Young Yao. All in favor? Aye. Okay, at this time, we are going to open up the meeting to the reception of visitors. At this time, the public may address agenda items only. There will be a time at the end of the meeting for the public to address other items that may concern the board. But at this time, it's for agenda items only. If you do come up, please state your name and address and keep your comments to a 10-minute time limit. Anyone from the public on first call?
Nolan Chandler, 24 Golden Street. I heard you mention something about Denny Stadium. I thought that was dead since the public voted down the funding of the preschool. I guess it's not. And it would be available to renovate Denny Stadium. So,
There is a 5-year plan for the rebuild of the stadium, so because of the referendum going down, we will do the project, but just in phases.
so it's going to be open then next season, next year, expected. Remember, they talked about the bleachers for the
Right.
condition, but that will be made safe and it will be available.
So, no, the bleachers are closed, the bleachers will not be used, the field is open, the track is open.
What happens in the game?
And we can get you a flyer with the information, and it has it all outlined. There it is.
There you go, sir.
We are looking at 2 different options. It's highlighted right in here. We will either have the games here at home, or we will be looking for an alternate location in Middlesex County. So that's what we're working through right now.
Anyone else from the public? On first call? Second call? Third call? Okay, this closes this public session. We're going to go on to the consent resolution. Mr. Rosa.
The South River Board of Education, by means of a consent resolution, adopt various resolutions of a routine and non-controversial nature at one time. And whereas the below listed resolutions are hereby adopted by the said Board of Education in whole, as if the same were individually acted upon. And those are Finance 8.1 through 8.39. Instruction 9.1 through 9.8. Policy and Legislation 11.1. Human Resources 12.1 to 12.35. Safety and Risk Management 13.1 to 13.7.
Thank you. Board members, what is your pleasure on the consent resolution?
I will be abstaining on finance item 8.6 and 8.20, and under human resources 12.15.
And is there a motion?
Sorry, 8.6.
8.20.
8.20.
I think it was 12.15. Got it. Do we have a motion on the consent resolution?
Motion?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Wells, second by Mr. Bezak. Are there any other questions or abstentions or any items that any board member wishes to have read separately? Would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bezak.
Yes.
Mr. Butson.
Yes.
Ms. Byrne.
Yes.
Mrs. Lau.
Yes.
Ms. Sadowski.
Yes.
Ms. Young Yao.
Yes.
Ms. Urbanek.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we're going to move into our committee reports. Our first committee report is athletics and extracurricular. Mr. Budzen,
There's nothing on the agenda.
and could you please continue for the buildings and grounds report in Mr. Nielsen's absence?
Again, there's nothing on the agenda. If you look at the superintendent's report and see how the maintenance staff is, they're doing all the month and they're doing a great job. So
Thank you. Moving on to our next committee report is Finance. Ms. Lowe.
Thank you. I have quite a bit of information in addition to the last meeting, so some amendments and some additions. So 8.1, amend approved contract, Strong and Associates Educational Consulting LLC, workshop provider for the 23-24 school year. 8.2 is also an amend approved contract, B&B Party Rentals of New Jersey, chair and stage rental services provider, 8th grade moving up and high school graduation ceremonies for the 22-23 school year. Then we're gonna move down. Hold on, I wrote everything in email, so it's easier to read. Down to 8.25, which had additional backup, so it was revised. 8.25. Revised approved contracts, Vista Travel Inc., travel services provider for the FBLA National Conference for the 22-23 school year. From 8.25, we go to 8.33, which has some additions and it was revised with backup. Which is our requisition list. And we pick up with 8.34, which we voted on last meeting, so there's a new 8.34, which addition approved Savas Learning Company LLC in McGraw-Hill, science curriculum materials and training provider for the 23-24 school year. 8.35, addition approved Book Source, Level Library Books and Materials provider for the 23-24 school year, which we just heard about in Dr. Zurcher's report. 8.36, addition approved DI Group Architecture Professional Services, initial phase of Denny Stadium project. 8.37, addition approved contract Office Solutions via the PEPPM co-op bid number 528897-284, and Avaya State Contract T13116/A 80802 High School Access Control Systems. 8.38, addition approved contract Office Solutions via the PEPPM co-op bid number 528897-284 and Avaya State Contract number T13116/A 80802 Primary School Access Control Systems. And 8.39, which is addition approved high school addition project allowances for the 22-23 school year. So concludes my report.
Thank you. Could you take a little breath and continue on with instruction?
Yep, let me go to my email because it tells me where to start. Okay, so in 9.1, we had a PD chart updated. 9.2, we added a field trip, and there was one addition. 9.8, addition approved district student observers, interns for the 23-24 school year. And along with the instruction, I'd like to provide a brief summary of Dr. Trevisato's report where he mentioned the day of service that Dr. Zurcher discussed. He mentioned how Ms. Young-Yao was going to speak about the New Jersey Teen Arts Festival for poetry, and we had a student that was nominated. And in addition to that, we talked about the science series that we just approved and all of the work that's entailed. So both Ms. Sadowski and I were able to review the materials this week, which was nice. They were all set up. We got to see everything from K through 12. That's part of the series that they had available for us. And then PD. It discussed a lot of like the PD that the district has gone through based on primary, elementary, middle, and high school, all from culturally responsive teaching to gifted and talented support practices, dialectical behavior therapy, and what I think is interesting and really cool, coming from an educator standpoint, is that a little survey was done to the staff and the stakeholders to do input about PD that's taking place and the focus, and he said they're looking into a system where staff would be able to select individualized professional development opportunities at various times during the year. And that's good because sometimes something might pop up during the year that might be interested in, and if we have that capability, it would be nice for them to have it. And that is all.
Thank you. There are no new items under negotiation. Let's move on to the policy and legislation report. Ms. Byrne.
There are no new items since we're there.
Thank you. And under human resources, Mr. Bezak.
Thank you. I have 12 additions this Monday evening. Item 12.23, addition approved summer enrichment program staff, summer of 2023. Item 12.24, addition of approved chaperones, overnight stipends, senior class trip 2022-2023 school year. Item 12.25, addition of approved middle school summer remediation, retention, prevention program staff, summer of 2023. Item 12.26, addition of approved salaries, non-bargaining unit, 2023-2024 school year. Item 12.27, addition of approved reappointment, non-bargaining staff, 2023-2024 school year. Item 12.28, addition of approved transfers of staff members, 2023-2024 school year. Item 12.29, addition of approved contract, Brian Darby, 2023-2024 school year. Item 12.30, addition of approved contract, Stephen Balaja, 2023-2024 school year. Item 12.31, addition of approved contract, Kim Urrutia, 2023-2024 school year. Item 12.32, addition of approved resignation, Shauna Izetta, high school English teacher, 2023-2024 school year. Item 12.33, addition of approved resignation, Brian Meadows, high school ESL teacher. Item 12.34, addition of approved home instruction staff, 2022-2023 school year. Item 12.35, addition of approved appoint Jessica Sorrento, primary school teacher, 2023-2024 school year. That's all I have.
Thank you. Our safety and risk management report, Ms. Sadowski.
Thank you. There is one addition from Monday night's meeting, item number 13.7, addition approved route number T408 to Stepping Stone School Educational Services Commission of New Jersey for the 22-23 school year. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. School community relations, Ms. Young Yap.
Congratulations to student Aubrey Villafuente for being nominated to the New Jersey Teens Arts Festival in the category of poetry. He originally presented at the 2023 Middlesex County Teens Art Festival at such an exceptional level that he was asked to present at the state festival in late May, early June. And that is all.
It's quite an honor. Thank you. Our PTA liaison, Ms. Sadowski.
Thank you. The end of the school year already. So last month they did, all the schools celebrated Teacher Appreciation. They had different functions, they had luncheons, and they had, the primary school had a book fair going on. And now we are into June where Fun Day planning is occurring at the primary school and the elementary school, as well as the 5th grade fun night and the 1st grade moving up ceremony. And the boards, I know at the primary and elementary school, are both looking for people to help out as their board. I know there's a lot of people moving around, moving from primary to elementary, so I know that the primary school is looking for board members as well as the elementary school. And if anybody is willing to help out, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Our South River Public Library liaison, Mr. Budson.
The library was at the Cricket Fair to give out the summer program. They had to have their summer reading program, and they have a whole list of events, which is too long to list now, but so go to the library, pick it up, or go to the website, and that's all I have.
Thank you. And our liaison to the South River Foundation for Educational Excellence, Ms. Love.
I have nothing for this evening.
Okay, thank you. Our student board representative, Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you. For the month of May, we had our junior senior prom, which was a whole night. Our spring sports are now coming to an end, so congratulations to all these students on their accomplishments. From a student's perspective, the curriculum fair was great. It's always good to see, our classes, our different classes and clubs being represented to all the people that want to come and learn about our school. I actually had a chance to go into the Star Lab, which is pretty cool to see the stars and just not like anything else in the book. So,
Good, thank you. Is there any old or new business to come before the board at this time?
Just to piggyback on
Sure.
what we've been discussing tonight with the curriculum fair, it does take a great effort from our staff, from our maintenance and custodial staff, our teachers, our teacher leaders, our board office staff. We couldn't do it without Deb. Chartwell staff who provide food. It's a real collaborative effort, and I can't thank everybody enough for what they do to get that night to be the success that it is. That's it, just a thank you.
Thank you for all the work that you do put in. Does our attorney have a report?
We do have an executive session discussion of some year-end compliance things, and the negotiations committee meeting the other night, we have pursued that. We have things out to the county, and we took care of the rest of them on the agenda tonight. So we're, again, moving into next school year already.
Wow. Already? Okay, thank you very much. Payment of bills, Ms. Lowe.
Thank you. The Finance Committee recommends that all bills presented having been certified by the School Business Administrator, Board Secretary, be paid as listed, and I so move.
Thank you. We have a motion by Ms. Lowe,
Second.
second by Ms. Sadowski. Any questions on the payment of bills? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we are once again going to open up the meeting for the reception of visitors. The public may address any concern or comment that they have for the board. Please come to the podium at the mic and state your name and address, and please keep your comments to a 10-minute time limit. I see some movement. I will make first, second, or third call.
That's more fun.
Yes.
Good evening, Richard Byrne, 11 Bissett Place, South River. I did enjoy rolling through the bridges there, very nice. So, one of the problems I have with the general public, and it's a majority of them, but it's not all of them, is that they have absolutely no idea how government works and what the limits of responsibility are. I had gone to the council meeting Monday, and one of the public speakers wanted to know why the borough was putting turf fields in the school when we had a water problem. And, it was explained that these are not areas that the school district, the Board of Education. So one of the reasons I went to the council meeting was because they posted this notice about the copper levels of the water, and I went on about how virtually all of the information in that notice was out of date and not applicable because the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection regulations required them to put every bit of language that was in that notice. And the words were, this is not an emergency. What the public wants to know is why it's not an emergency. And I asked the questions that got me the answer, which was the copper excursion and the levels occurred in March of 2022, and they were fixed by the next sample date of June 2022, and it hasn't occurred since then. So the water is safe, and it's not an emergency. And the violation was failure to file the proper paperwork on a long-term plan to prevent it from happening again. But it hasn't happened again. So yes, the water is safe, and it is not an emergency. So I'm not an authority on this, but I did ask those questions, and the schools are supplied by the borough school.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have no problem right now, other than paperwork.
We also have water filter stations as well.
I assume that you have some localized treatment. If you could get Mrs. Byrne a copy of that brochure about the stadium, I would like to see it. I don't care if I have to bring lawn chairs to the football games. I will come to some football games, or if I have to go to another location to support the athletic department. What else? Yeah, I mean, I bother the borough council at almost every meeting. I try to refrain from doing that here because I might have consequences if I bother you too much. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Byrne.
Mr. Byrne, thank you very much for that information and your comments. And thanks for pointing out about the difference between the two governing entities. It's very important. Okay, is there anyone else from the public who wishes to speak at this time?
Norm Scheinberg, 24 New Street. Is it going to come up for a vote again, the preschool in November?
At this time, we do not have a plan for another referendum vote, no.
And why is that?
Because the board has chosen not to move forward with a referendum based on the results of our initial referendum.
So it's dead.
Via referendum, yes, correct. We are exploring other options such as grant funding and things of that nature, but the project through a referendum is not how we're moving forward at this time. Yeah.
I have one other question. Because I got this, it mentions at the bottom that they're on security guard in the school. I didn't know that. Someone told me they started coming in about 4 years ago.
Yes, we have a partnership with SRPD, and we have SLEO, 3 officers who are in our schools. Yes, they are
Was
agreed.
there any incident that caused this? Was there any students found with guns? I
No.
also noticed I walked through the town a lot. Now that I'm retired, I walk, all over the lunch and stuff. And I noticed they had clear backpacks.
Yes.
So I was wondering whether there was all kinds of problems that exist now in the school that didn't exist when my students were here. They fights, guns, other things, contraband.
No, we're just being proactive and trying to avoid those problems. We're being proactive and we're giving people a measure of safety and security, and support. And,
In my opinion, I think like that. Security theater. That there have never been guns in the Southfield School. That's pretty much the answer. I don't think there's been a gun found in the Southfield School in 100 years. Now, Mr. Busby's probably been here a long time. Mr. Busby, do you know of an incident when students have been found with guns that have been around longer than anyone else? I guess the answer is no.
well, I don't know of any incident, and I am thankful for that, and I'm hopeful that will always be the case.
You know, I was speaking to some people and giving them some statistics, but for some reason or other, statistics don't make any sense. To me, it does. I'm an engineer. I found 7 shootings that took place going on the web in New Jersey in the last 20 years. 7 school shootings, 1 student died in a school shooting. It seemed like pretty much a one-on-one kind of shooting. There's 2,400 schools. So if you take 7 shootings over 20 years, it's 25 shootings per year. And if you take 2,400 schools, it means that we can expect, on the average, a school shooting once every 5,000 years in the school. So you're in effect bringing a gun into the school to stop something that has never occurred, and that probably won't occur for 5,000 years. Now, it could occur tomorrow, but they get instructed to go through that wall tomorrow, but you don't have the students move away from the wall, keep your desks 20 feet from the wall. Over 5,000 years, an airplane could crash with the roof. And far more dangerous is the fact that we have cars in the parking lot, with students walking. Someday, some mother or father is going to back up and run over a student. It will happen. It just happens. But yet we haven't put special barriers there. We just never do things that are the 5,000-year event. There's no 5,000-year floodplain.